What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Talking Busch. I'm your host, Dave Pikus. I'm taking you through this next 45 minutes of pure fantasy football bliss. We're into week 6 here in the Busch League. I got some great buds around me. It's a great week. We're back on our winning ways. To my left, I got the commish, Matty Train. Matt Train, how you doing tonight?
What's up? Doing good. Glad to be here.
The Bearded Bandits, I like to call us. Also on my right now, I got running the ones and twos. We got Derek Hartman. Derek, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty well, Dave. Doing pretty well.
Love it. What was the best beer you had this weekend?
Ooh, always a tough question. I did crack a nice stout from Perennial out of St. Louis.
Nice.
I would say that was probably the best.
Okay. And always coming to us from his Paynesville, Minnesota. It looks like college basement.
Minnesota? Is that a new state that I don't know about?
Yep. John Thompson, the brewer. Johnny, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. I am not part of the Bearded Bandits because, for whatever reason, I cannot grow a beard. So I am not a part of that esteemed group. So
That's weird.
Yeah, I know. It's weird.
Does the carpet match the drapes?
Yes, it does. It does.
Good for you. All right, let's hop in. Fucking great weekend, I think, all around. Vikes get the big win on Sunday, prove that they can play with the lead.
What happened on Saturday? Let's talk about Saturday.
We're getting there, John. We're going to take care of a few things before we get back to Saturday. All right? Fuck. All right. Sunday, anybody do anything fun for the game? No?
I mean, I watched the Vikings.
No.
win.
Yeah, watch from home.
Yep.
I was very confused. In my head in the morning, had planned for a noon kickoff. So I got up at 9, showered, dressed
Ready to
by
go.
9, fucking did my Sam's Club run for the week, grocery shop, and then
Yep.
home. And then I saw that it was a 3 o'clock game, and I was like, what the fuck am I going to do now? That's 3 hours from now.
Mm.
So, red zone, couch,
Nice.
lovely.
There were some fun early games.
Yeah, absolutely.
Watching the Chiefs is always a great time, whether you own all their players or not.
Yeah,
True.
but that was a terrible game, though. It was. In terms of watching football games, I'd rather been watching Baltimore-Cleveland, and that game was 9-6 or something like that.
Yeah.
Very true.
Blake Bortles looked terrible. Terrible.
That's terrible.
Indeed.
I thought he was all right. Sunday we had kind of a fun afternoon of kickers. Everybody missed everybody's favorite, Mason Crosby. It's a little bitch.
5 kicks.
5 kicks. Missed them all. On the season, he's running a 69%
Nice.
make message. He's, let's see here. He's not great. Obviously, number one with the lowest rating is John's boy, Dan Carlson. He's got 25% 1 for 4 on the year.
That's terrible.
The Arizona kicker that lasted about a game that went 1 for 3. He's out of here too. I mean, I think I saw there's been like 36 kickers in the NFL this season so far, which is
I would have almost guessed more.
that's terrible.
Thing is with Crosby, though, it's getting to the point now, if you're the Packers, even if you wanted to cut bait with Crosby.
You can't.
Who you gonna
His
get?
contract is also
Yeah.
very high right now.
really?
Does
They're
anybody,
stuck.
Mm.
It was maybe like the 13 season where he was
Oh, he was
just
awful.
fucking
Yep.
terrible. Absolutely
stuck it
terrible.
out.
They
And
did. It worked for him.
And then the next 2 years he played really well, and then they signed
Yeah.
him to a big deal.
Yep. They trotted him out at the end of the game. Probably a smart move.
Yep.
Get him one
Let's
kick
get smart about
under
it.
his belt.
Yep. Also, this weekend we had the MLB playoffs started or continued, I guess. Did anybody catch the game last night, Monday night, between the Yankees and the Red Sox?
I saw some highlights.
There was fucking nobody at Yankee Stadium by like the 3rd inning.
Why? What's the deal?
Everybody gave
Well,
us.
Well, it was
they got their ass
16-1.
Oh.
Lance Lynn came in the 4th after Severino gave
You
up
know it's not
a
good when
shit
he's.
ton. Okay, the Lance Lynn that I remember that played for Minnesota in the early years, and granted I don't watch a lot of Twins games because they suck.
Lance Lynn played for Minnesota. You mean just this year?
Yeah.
Okay. You said early years.
Earlier in the year, I think
he got
he's
so
drunk.
fat.
He doesn't know what he's talking
Fair,
about.
that's fair.
He's big.
He's put on 30.
Yeah. He's been eating fucking hot dish.
Are you sure it's not because he had to shave and it changed his appearance?
I don't think so. His gut is giant. All right. Anyway, fucking. There's a viral photo going around. Did anybody see it today of the Yankee fan who is sleeping in his lady's arms in the stadium?
Yes.
Aw.
Classic.
Didn't see
That
it.
guy is. It's going all over. That guy's done.
Yeah.
Man card revoked. It's over.
Except there's only one way it isn't, and I haven't seen the photo. Is she a 10?
No. Oh God, no.
Well, she's decent looking.
Like,
John,
no,
would
like
ya?
6.5, 7 tops.
Out of respect, absolutely.
All right, then I just kind of want to talk a little bit about Derek. My epic day on Saturday. We met up with the conglomerate of the 5-star tailgate group with the Nadine Babu group, and had just phenomenal food. And
Yeah. Bacon wrapped hot dogs were excellent. Great tailgate idea that we should consider in the future.
bacon wrapped hot dogs. In the morning, they had Long Johns with maple bacon bits on the top. They had just everything was bacon. So good.
Yep. We had some pork belly.
Yep. So shout out to them
Damn.
for welcoming us in. We kind of went on a whim. We hung out with those guys a couple times last year with a coworker of mine. I didn't know if the coworker was going to be there. Luckily, he was, but we were going to hop in anyway. Great people. We got the We Hate Iowa buttons, official buttons of homecoming.
Sure did.
Phenomenal. Got into the stadium. Derek snuck a beer in his armpit.
Yep. That happened.
Phenomenal. I cashed my beer in line. Whatever. Big guy, little guy problems. Then
Nice.
Derek, we had a great time. I think the game.
I mean,
maybe
sure.
it didn't go our way, but we had big strides. I think moving improvements. And,
The offense actually looked okay.
yeah, and Our-
The defense, not good.
but things to work on. Some things we got to figure out.
Sure, that's one way to look at it.
I think it's gonna be all right.
Matt, are you ready to throw up over this positivity? I can just see you rubbing your head. Like,
No,
I
This
want your
isn't-
point. I want the AFF point of view right now.
this isn't any worse than it has been. In fact, I mean,
No,
I don't think-
it was arguably better than it.
yeah, it was a better performance than what we've seen and come to expect. I think the difference is that a few weeks ago it was like we're awesome, when clearly we were not.
There's only one person here that said that.
Nobody said it awesome. I said we had the opportunity to play well because we have good wide receivers, which we do, and now we have 3 of them instead of just one that we throw the ball to. So I think that's a big
That helps.
improvement, and we're trusting some guys not named Tyler Johnson on 3rd down, which is also a huge thing.
Also helps.
It's just, when we need our defense to step up, we weren't getting it this week, and I don't think we're going to have it in the near future
I
going forward.
I want the Vikings to draft about 5 offensive linemen, but damn, those Iowa tight ends look good.
God,
Like,
aren't they great?
How well would one of them fit in? I mean, I don't want to kick Kyle at the door, but
Though, what ifs with Max Williams, really, this couple years later.
John, your squad is okay.
I think
Yeah,
that
they're-
your quarterback is fucking terrible. I'm just going to say it. He's not great. He doesn't make good decisions. But other than that,
What? He doesn't make good decisions? He made one poor, horrible decision. I don't
Sometimes
know why
that's
he
all it
didn't throw the
takes.
ball out of bounds. He threw it right to Julian Huff. I don't know what the hell that was all about, but otherwise, he hit Noah Fant for a touchdown. He hit Ivory Martin for a touchdown. I thought he played okay. And how about the swinging gate?
Was
Wasn't that
not a
awesome?
fan of that play.
that was just silly. There's
Oh,
no.
it's just silly now.
Oh, yeah. I fucking bet you don't punt in Madden. Respect the game.
Well, I will say this: I thought PJ was going to call a timeout again. I don't. Well, he didn't. He went with it, and they caught him with their pants down. So
His post-game
Caught the
presser
edge.
said that they were very ready for it, even expected it. They just couldn't contain.
Yep.
Oh.
Okay.
That's the guy on
I
the
will
edge.
say I was happily surprised with our two defensive backs, the two true freshmen. Three interceptions total for the both of them. That was a nice surprise. It looked really bad from the start. It looked like Annexted was just gonna basically throw at Moss all
Yeah,
day
they
long
they
because
really
Yeah.
picked on him.
Bateman had his number. I mean, actually all of them did, but the kid made the two plays that he needed to, and on Iowa, man. That's all I gotta say.
Is that your on Iowa?
On Iowa,
That's
fight
what they call it?
for Iowa.
Okay. Well, that's fucking weird, but because that's what Wisconsin says, and I would
It
arguably
is
say that
literally
they're better
the
than
name of their song.
Yeah. All right, so going forward,
Sorry.
let's bounce into some fantasy football, huh, boys?
Let's do it.
All right. So we had the Big Hoss getting on the board here, beating the Soup du Jour 109.5 to 79.7. You know, not a big deal. I think everybody saw it coming. Only a matter of time before the Soup was going to have the down in the roller coaster. Glad I hit him this week. And
We did talk about that last week. Which soup was going to show up?
Mhm.
We still all bet on him.
Yep, no faith. No faith. That's fine. Blame it on the kombucha. 128 over the Heartbreak Kid, 86.5. I believe that this is Drew's first winning record since 2013.
Like total,
good
any
stat.
at any
At
point in the
point,
season.
Yeah.
Good stat.
Whoa.
So this is huge for Drew, bouncing off. I think he's coming back. He's got a fresh kid. Shout out to the kid, Lily. Go get him. Good for him.
His team doesn't look that bad.
No,
Nope.
and he's adding depth, and
He's got depth, and I tried to trade with him, and I was rebuffed.
crazy. The Jeff Bottom Grieve top defeats the Who's Your Daddy 128.4 to 74.8. Who's Your Daddy has lost 3 straight and trending downward at the moment.
Yep.
Dropped in the points per game average about 15, I think, over
I think
the
more,
week.
I think more than that.
So
Wasn't good.
not great.
Good game though, John. Good game.
Thank you. You just had a tough matchup. That's really what it comes down to.
Yep.
And the Chiefs put up points on Jacksonville, but it was to everybody but your players.
Yeah, I mean defensive touchdown. Bortles gave him short fields to work with.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it'll happen.
That's the thing too. Tyreek Hill, freaking love him, but he disappears sometimes.
He got a 60-yard run
Called
call
back.
back.
But
and a 30-yard reception.
yeah, but that's what it is.
That's
It's
football.
boomer
That's
bust.
9
You know
points
what I
though.
mean?
Derek also didn't have a position player score a touchdown.
I did not. 0 touchdowns.
Ouch.
Tough week.
That'll make you put up 74.
Yep. We had the Team Aponte 105.2 defeating the Breast Implants Inc. 91.9. That's a second straight loss for Grieve, coming out hot. Now he's falling off the wagon. Kind of back to his same old Grieve antics. Score right around, league minimum, and then don't come out on top.
Was Alyssa on vacation or something this week?
I think she had some studio time on Saturday. I saw on her Instagram, so clearly was not setting
how do you
lineups.
leave Crowell at home. 30 points on the bench.
Yeah,
He
that's
puts
the difference.
Crowell in. He
Yep.
coasts.
Absolutely. We had the Heart Attack defeat the Lords this week, 142 to 116.3. That's a 4-game win streak for Adam. The Lords putting up enough points, beating the average, but not coming out on top. Tough matchup.
Yeah, it was a decent week for me, but right now Hartman 140 plus in 3 consecutive weeks is
Looks good.
rolling.
Turning it
real
on.
hot.
Mm-hmm. Deshaun Watson is turning things on, and you know what I think? Well, Thielen is a huge freaking find for. I mean, that may be the pick of the year right now.
He's
with
literally
Thielen.
been the best wide receiver.
Yes.
The best.
He's on pace for like 150 catches for like 1,900 yards. It's insane.
Yep. Everybody forget that old takes exposed from the preseason where we were.
Yes, we were ripping on,
We were ripping on him
for
saying that
the high
year
price
3 wasn't
Vikings.
gonna
That's
be.
right. That's right.
But
And
good for him.
not to toot my own horn, but Stephon Diggs has been worth the
Yeah.
trade. Like my 2 combined points with my combined to James White, Stephon Diggs have amass more points than Melvin Gordon, so that's worked out nicely.
You know, and it doesn't look like it with the Vikings offense. It doesn't look like it's going to go any different way. I mean, they cannot run the ball, and Cousins loves those guys. I mean, between those two guys, it's 18 catches a game. Here. I mean, he loves those guys.
I mean, Dalvin Cook might be a sabotage drop at this point.
Right.
They can't run at all.
They can't. The good news for them this week is they face a horrendous Arizona rushing defense. So if this is the game that's going to try to get something figured out, this is the week to do it.
All you Tay Train lovers, go pick him up or go find him. He's going to be your guy, according to John Thompson.
Heart Attack has the Tay Train, so Adam, keep him in, man. They're 32 against the run. I wouldn't pull him unless you have a better matchup.
I have a theory about the league this year. We've seen running backs obviously came back this year in a big way, and as it's turned out, typically what would happen in running back dominated years is you want to get one of the top guys and then you sacrifice towards the end of the draft. What's happened this year, specifically at the receiver position, and what's happened this year is that passing offenses have exploded to the point where there are so many playable wide receivers. And the difference in the league right now is the guys that have the workhorse running backs have been able to fill the wide receiver spot without any problem because everybody is throwing it everywhere.
And it's usually the exact opposite.
Exactly. Usually you have to sacrifice there, and the depth at wide receiver is just so great that the guys with the solid running backs are the ones that are.
If you can find the right guys to play.
All right, the final matchup of the week was the Peppy Kids coming in with the high point 164.8, and he beat Two Girlies One Cup 99.3. That's a big letdown week for the juggernaut Jeff. I don't remember the last time he scored under 100. But
I mean, he'd probably have to go pretty deep last year.
Yeah, it's not looking great. He's been active on the waiver wire. I believe we'll see tomorrow morning that he's been very active.
I cannot imagine he will stand pat.
But
5.4 out of Kamara. That was a surprise to me. They really leaned on Ingram last night.
I'm wondering if he is regretting trading Ingram, and not maybe potentially playing them both, one at flex and one as a starter.
Yes, I think you absolutely could play them both. That game got up. They got up a little bit. I think they just decided to give Kamara a break. He had a really heavy workload those first 4 games.
It's true.
I think in a closer game, Kamara's going to get more carries, going to get more catches.
I think it's getting it was reported both ways this morning, or yesterday morning, I guess. On is the tide changing? They're going back to Ingram. Are they going to get more equal carries? What's going to happen there? I'm excited to see. That offense needs probably both of them to stay functioning.
Yeah.
And like we've talked about many times on this program, the more they can hand off and save Drew Brees' arm, the better.
One thing to keep in mind with that is Ingram's a free agent. They have no reason not to give him the ball a lot.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Wear him out.
Yeah.
Kamara's the future.
That's true. Are you guys buying or selling Phil?
I'm buying.
I am buying until week 7 when Le'Veon Bell makes his comeback.
That's a big one. That's a big part. I mean, week 7, that's 1 week from now. So to me, that means you're selling.
He is basically going to lose his starting running back, and it's not his fault. It's just a matter of circumstance.
Yep.
I'm selling.
Yeah, I'm selling also. I think Rodgers – got down early with a kicker that couldn't make a kick. I mean, we haven't seen that kind of – it just was it was a circumstance in which quarterbacks like that rack up a lot of points.
Yeah.
Connor, very likely he'll disappear. And the other big horse was Ebron, who's – I mean, that's a –
If you watch that game, Luck's going after him because he has nobody else.
He's his only guy that he can trust right now, and that's going to be pretty great for him. But eventually defense are going to scheme to it, and I don't think Ebron is that great.
I like Sony Michel over the long haul.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, how about OBJ and David Johnson each having breakout weeks after being traded?
Lit a fire under their ass.
Yeah, indeed. They both did all right. The difference is his receiver threw a touchdown and my running back did not throw a touchdown.
Correct.
Yeah.
So let's just recap the week here. We got 1,326.4 points. It's 110.53 average. We had 5 teams above the average this week. The high, obviously, was Phil at 164.8. Low was Derek at 74.5. Find a bitch. Top players for the week. Phil actually leads 3 of the 4 categories that we're going to look at. Quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers, top quarterback, 28.7 points. Tom Brady, 27.5, getting back into that flow. Drew Brees, 27.2. Andrew Luck, 22.6, which is kind of surprising that he's kind of getting back and feeling the flow there.
He's hucking that pigskin a lot because a lot of times they're behind.
Right, but still great. Running backs, Phil had James Croner, 32.5 points. Todd Gurley still crushing at 31.3 points. Isaiah Crowell, 29.6 points. Saquon still crushing 26.9 points. Does anybody see any correlations between like Zeke last year and Saquon this year? I mean, eventually I think he's going to run out of steam. Young guy, but it might draw off here towards the end. TJ Yeldon, 22.2 points. Running backs averaged 24.29 points in the top 10 last week. That's huge.
Yeah.
Wide receivers, OBJ, 27.4 points. Robbie Anderson, free agent, by the way, probably getting picked up this week.
3 catches, though. He only had 3 catches.
Yes.
Just happened to be 2 bombs.
25.8 points. Antonio Brown, 25.1 points. Finally coming out of his shell. He's been playing like shit this year.
Yep.
So hopefully that can contain, because my final score relies on this being in the 20s every week. And so hope we get there. Traquan Smith, also a free agent who will get picked up this week.
Right.
24.6 points. Devontae Adams, 24.5 points. Adam Thielen, 21.1 points. That touchdown dance he had was kind of confusing. A lot of pelvic thrusts
I didn't get it, but
on Vikings. Top 3 defenses were unowned this week. The Bengals D at 29.2 points. The Cardinals D at 24.8 points. The Chiefs D at 24.4 points.
I don't want any of those defenses, though.
Me neither,
Right.
but they played well this last week. Steelers at 4, Vikes at 5, Browns at 6, which still is confusing to me that the Browns are winning football games and actually playing halfway decent. Bills at 7, that they're on the waiver wire if anybody wants to pick them up. They had 19.2 points. They're going up against somebody decent this week, though, so heads up. And that kind of brings us to the end. We had a few transactions. Phil dropped Doug Baldwin. Max dropped the Titans D. Jeff was within hours of each other. He added Ty Montgomery and dropped Ty Montgomery.
He'll probably add him back this waiver wire process.
That was last time I tried to do some math on this. I would call it about 14 hours. So that's pretty good.
There we go.
Then we had the epic trade between we had the Lord and Phil.
Yeah, I mean, their big pieces both played well.
Yep.
This week. It's a lot.
You said big pieces.
Of course I did.
So we'll see tomorrow morning when the waiver wire comes out. I think there's going to be a lot of moves.
I think there's going to be a lot of moves.
And we'll see where everybody shakes out. We'll see what the prices are.
Yep.
Pick'em recap. We had the 2 big dogs from the junior division coming up with 4-2. Surprised you guys didn't pick me. Come on, you guys are better than that. Matt was 3-3. Jeff was 1-5, and John is 0-6 on the week.
Ouch.
Is that even possible?
How did you screw that up?
I didn't really care. I just picked.
You're on.
That's terrible.
You're on the podcast with these guys picking, and you couldn't pick it up for shit.
Well, I'll just do it off the fly this week. I won't even
Pick
look
the
into it.
same as Matt, at least.
Here's the thing: is that even if you're just picking randomly, 0-6 is still really
it's
shitty.
tough to do.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I did it.
That's terrible.
borderline impossible. But we've seen your
I
golf
try to
swing,
do
so
the
we know you're
impossible.
a little challenged at a few things.
Oh, shut up.
All right, let's pop into week 6.
Hi, my name's Dave Pikus. I'm wearing a red and black striped sweater because I'm so cool.
Fucking
Ooh.
American Eagle, bud. Throwback Tuesday. All right, let's hop in. Let's go. Let's go with one of the hottest teams we have right now. Blame It on the Kombucha is going into the breast implants. Both teams 3-2. Drew is a 9.9 point favorite as of this morning or this afternoon. The Vegas house here is giving him 10 points. I think Drew can beat the breast implants.
Yeah. Drew has an 0-4 record against him in the 12-team era too.
Wow. That's but that goes back
Chip
to
on their shoulder.
Yeah.
First winning record in quite a while.
Yep. I'm sure
winning
Drew
away.
has a bad record against a lot of teams.
Yeah, I think he does.
In the 12-team era.
Maybe
He
one
does.
of the best starts for the breast implants in a while too, at 3-2.
Yeah, he's been fortunate, really. I mean, 99 points a game is down with us bottom feeders, number 10 in the power rankings. So
Damn, towards the bottom.
yeah, and so fortunate to be where he's at if he can get turned around.
In a very important senior division matchup this week, we have the Heartbreak Kid.
Can we make our picks first?
Yeah.
I feel like that's an important part of this show now.
I picked Drew.
Come on.
I also
Come on,
picked Drew.
James
Drew.
Brown. Slow
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
I thought we were doing that when we were giving our own rundown.
I'm taking Drew also.
John?
Drew.
All right. Let's pop over. Like I said, senior division conference matchup this week. We have the 1-4 Heartbreak Kid versus the 3-2 Jeff Bottom Grief Top.
What was that?
The 3-2 Jeff Bottom Grief Top.
Thank you.
Right now, well, I'll go off the Vegas line here because I don't think some lineups were set. Yeah.
Well, John doesn't have a quarterback right now because he's going to trade for Matt Ryan. That's what I heard.
Ah, interesting.
Oh, is that so? And who am I sending in to get Matt Ryan?
I mean, I would pick up Case Keenum if I was him, but that's
A running back probably because I'm desperate for one.
Oh, okay. Do you want Dalvin?
Maybe,
yeah,
honestly.
Start Dalvin. All right, so Langer's 3.5 points favorites based on the
Storied
Vegas.
matchup. Two original franchises. Divisional matchup. Week 6. Getting the division going. 13-13 all time.
Yeah, this is breaking a tie.
Indeed.
Big matchup. What are you guys playing for? The Sega Bowl here or what?
The Super Nintendo Bowl.
Nice. Let's we didn't get to talk about this last week at all, but while we have John here, John and I stopped at a watering hole 2 Fridays ago now, and we were fortunate enough that we could play some video games at this bar. Sit down, have a nice couple beers, and we found a Techno Bowl for regular Nintendo, and we played, and I won.
You mean this one?
That is the one. And I believe the first game was maybe a little fluky, so we played a second one after I beat John. And the second time, I won again.
Oh, good for you.
Crushed him in
There's-
the second game.
There's a lot of pride in this league on that game, John. You realize that?
I openly admit that if we were playing the Super Nintendo edition, I would have got my ass kicked.
Yeah.
But in the regular Nintendo version, I own that game.
Let me just say this, Matt. On the second game, I picked the Cowboys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not realizing it was the 1991 Cowboys.
Yeah.
Troy Aikman still hadn't become Troy Aikman yet.
Uh-huh.
And so every pass I threw to Michael Irvin was over his head.
Yeah, right. Michael Irvin was doing like front flips catching balls that he
Fuck
should not
that.
have been catching.
No, he wasn't. Every time I threw the ball to Michael Irvin, it was over his head, or he dropped it.
And John is a controller watcher, like a little bitch.
Oh no!
too.
No.
Yep.
No.
Learned that in the
Yeah,
first
those are
game.
fighting
Davis.
words. I mean,
Yes,
Davis
that is
now-
a major accusation.
that is. I mean,
Matt,
yeah.
the dumbass runs the same motion there's two motion plays. One is, and they run the same exact motion, and he picks either the run motion or the pass motion, and he picked that play every fucking time. And so
And it
all
worked,
I had to do
didn't
was
it?
just try to guess run or pass, and he still won. That's the stupid part.
John, come on.
We
Who
used to-
you take the best defensive back. You
Yeah.
pick
He
you
wouldn't.
pick the passing play every time. You defend the run manually. Come
Yeah.
on.
He was doing that, and I was kicking his
Come
ass.
on.
He was playing the linebacker. That should have
Oh
been
yeah,
wide
but you
open
can't
for
you
the.
can't
Nope,
play the
nope,
linebacker
nope,
when
nope.
you're playing the run. You got to play the D-back.
All right.
Yep.
So, storied rivalry. John's coming off a hot win. Tim is not coming off a hot win. I'm going with jump bottom, creep top this week.
Thank you.
Yeah, John, I don't know. I feel like you're on a roll right now, and I got to go with you.
John has had a propensity in this league over the last couple of years to be just barely above average. Gets a lot of shoulda ones. He's consistently just good enough. Not really to that level where he's been able to compete with the top guys. Thankfully, Lang is a bottom guy, so I'm taking John.
Boom. Love it.
Well, bad news for me. I saw the Tim Lang on Saturday.
No way.
He is alive.
Indeed.
He is
That's
alive.
Really?
I don't know
he
why
is
that's bad
actually
news
in-
for you.
Yeah, why
He
is that bad?
actually in sunny Orange County, California right now on business,
Oh.
so he probably is not listening.
Does
But
he
looked
listen?
me- yes, he does. He does listen every now and then.
Good.
Now and then.
So, but he looked
Wow, good for
deep,
us.
deep,
Big time.
deep into my eyes, and I saw something that I haven't seen in a long time, and that was he does not want to lose this week. So
Boom.
I am gonna.
Don't tell me you're going to pick against yourself again. I'm going to throw up after last week with you two picking each other.
It's work though. They pick against me and I win. So I'm picking it against
Respect.
me.
Okay.
Heartbreak Kid.
All right. Let's pop up. We got another interleague matchup between the Lords and the Peppy Kids. Right now, we're going to say that Phil is 15.5 point favorites.
He's got massive projections for
Yes.
the second week in a row, 118 or something like that.
Oh,
They were right
boy.
last week.
They were.
So the train making strides. I mean, if you want to ask me, I'm going to say you're going to score 112 points this week.
Question is that going to be enough?
I just don't think so. I'm going to go with the Peppy Kids.
I agree, Dave. I also don't think it'll be enough. James Conner's getting the rock. This might
A
be the
lot.
last week he gets the rock.
Pound him.
I go Phil.
I project that much like my last year's move when I traded Odell Beckham Jr., a broken ankle or something like that maybe in the near future. And Arizona is getting that offense figured out, and they're leaning on David Johnson to do that with the rookie quarterback. Lords win.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Johnny? Got to
Peppy
pick
Kids.
yourself. Attaboy. All right, in the other division matchup this week, we have the 4-1 Heart Attack against the 3-2 Soup du Jour.
Probably game of the week right here.
Game of the week, also known as the Friendship Bowl. I think Adam throws this one. Soup wins.
Adam throws this game every year, so Soup
Yep.
wins.
Adam is 3-6 against Trevor in the 12-team era.
Yep.
Probably his worst record against anybody.
Proven.
Yeah, I picked Trevor.
Underdog City.
Well,
Ruff, ruff, ruff.
everybody takes the underdog. I'm gonna take the favorite and take my point in our little competition here. I'll take Arbin.
All right.
All right.
Well, you're wrong.
We'll see.
All right, and we have the 2-3 Hoosier Daddy versus the 2-3 Team Aponte. These guys were borderline disrespect. Well, at the tailgate last week, Max and Max's dad were there, and Derek was borderline McGregor to Habib's dad in the parking lot, where I am gonna throttle your son next week. You stink. Your religion stinks.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was getting dirty.
I don't know if it
thought
went
there was
that
gonna
far,
be
but
fisticuffs.
Why were you going after Catholicism like that? What did it do to you?
I'm ready to go.
Derek's looking for the win. That's all he's like.
I need
a win.
I need a win.
He said, "I'm going to lose this week. I need to bounce back, playing Max."
It's true. I knew I was going to lose to you, John. I knew it.
Well, I'm picking you this week because I really want you to throttle Max. So I'm going with Derek on this one.
I'm 14.5-point favorite right now. Not quite the biggest spread of the week, but very close. I gotta win this week.
Gotta win. So you're picking yourself,
Yes, betting heavy.
Maddie. Who you got this week in the Derek Aponte Battle Royale?
I still like Max's team. I mean, he's got workhorses across his lineup, and Derek is sliding. I'm gonna take Max.
I think a lot of this matchup really rests on what Derek gets tonight in the waiver wire.
It does.
But
I'll fully admit that.
I think he's gonna get it. I think he bet big on a few guys this week to get him. So I'm gonna go Derek.
Did you have one of these guys already and drop them?
No comment.
I love it.
I've been there, buddy. I've been there.
And then in the final matchup of the week, we have the newly 1-4 Big Haas versus the Two Girlies 1 Cup, 3-2. Jeff Slyden, I think I got him at the right time. He is sitting at 13-point favorites as of today, but now, did I read that right? Sorry, I'm 13-point favorite as of this morning. Updated line from Vegas has got me at a 3-point favorite. I think that I'm the home team. Nope, I'm the away team. Better on the road. We're traveling East Coast, not going to the West Coast. Big Haas. Big Haas, big win.
Jeff's another guy that's going to be huge on the waiver wire this week. If he has any dollars left, they will be spent, I predict. I'm going to go with Jeff.
Man, Brady and Antonio Brown. Is Alvin Kamara going to get back in the swing of things? Or
Kamara's going to buy.
Oh.
Oh, that changes things.
Barkley.
Julio at home against Tampa Bay, though. Think about that.
I know. Tampa's defense is not good.
Yeah, but Julio never scores touchdowns, ever.
They don't throw it to him in the red zone, that's why.
I'm going Dave.
Matt Ryan's racist.
I'm going to get a text about that from Jeff. I guarantee it. I'm going Dave.
All right. Thanks, Matt.
Jeff is actually, I don't know if you know this, Matt, but Jeff is actually outside in your bushes watching Clara and Melissa. So lock your doors tonight.
All right.
I bet against our good friend and host, and I regret it. And I will not do that again. Big Haas with the win.
Wow.
I mean, if you're not going to do that again, your
That
record
is-
will
that
not
is-
be good on the season.
That is the number 12. Number 12 in the power ranking versus number 1.
Yep. Giant Slayer.
Sometimes, you know what, Matt? I was using my head. I'm using my heart this time. I'm going with the Big Haas.
Jeez.
Dave Pike is 4-1 all time against Jeff.
Yes, sir.
Ooh, yeah.
Yep.
All
Also,
right.
Max
Yes.
has my number big time.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Whoa.
You should do better against him.
I'm going to this week. It starts Thursday.
Beauty. We have Gopes on Saturday at noon on FS1.
I would pick them not to cover.
They're not gonna 29.3 or whatever. I saw. Not great, but
They're going to give up 60. So the question is, can they score 30?
PJ had a good point on PA this morning about if we're eventually going to be able to play with these guys, we got to play against them to see what it's like. Fulele or whatever, ukulele with an F, is starting at right tackle.
Yeah, 400-pound baby freshman.
We're going for it. We're putting the big guys out, have him get beat up a little bit. Big welcome. Sounds like we're probably going to pull that red shirt too.
Oh, yeah, he openly said it was gone.
Yeah, so love it.
Who is the tackle on Saturday?
That guy.
No,
Oh,
first
sorry.
half it was the same guy they played all year. He's gotten beat on average about 3 times a game for sacks.
And Anthony Nelson literally made his hands look like turnstiles. Like every time that
Yes.
Anthony Nelson would just do the chop, that guy's hands would go straight down.
Yep. Schluter's not good.
Nope.
And there's a reason they're going to play an 18-year-old freshman that has
Yep.
1 year football experience total.
Right.
He's a big guy, though.
On Saturday at Ohio
Quick
State.
learner. Quick learner.
Hey, did you see Vic Viramontes got an offer from Missouri?
Linebacker.
Did he really?
As a linebacker.
Yeah.
Wow.
Whatever.
Oh,
Athlete.
now you're over it. Oh, now you're over it.
He's still got a fucked up shoulder.
God, you are something else sometimes. You know that?
Yeah.
Oh, Vic Viramontes, roll the boat, baby. We're coming. Now you don't even care.
Played fake hurt. Well, he played all spring. Didn't let anybody know he was hurt. And then got in and couldn't throw the fucking football.
Well, they might want to try to recruit him as a linebacker, considering what I saw on Saturday. So maybe they want to rethrow out that
I think he'll be
scholarship.
okay. Also on Saturday, famed Tommy Johnny game up in Collegeville.
Mm-hmm.
We got the number 3 St. Thomas coming into the number 7 St. John's. Obviously, with the passing of John Gallardi this last Sunday, most winning coach of all time, it's going to be packed up there. Love it. Probably get the 20,000 mark in Collegeville, which is
Are
crazy.
you going to be there, Dave?
I will not. I'll be watching on the live stream. Too many people.
Nice.
It's going to be a zoo.
Yeah.
Anybody that's listening that's going, I would get up there before, like, probably around 10 o'clock, get a parking spot. They have very limited tailgating if you're going to do it. You can drink on campus, no kegs. Make it happen. Party buses are going to be turned away at the cornfield lot and made those sons of bitches walk. So, love that. Sunday, Vikes Cardinals. It's going to be a rout.
Yeah, hopefully Zimmer has this rookie quarterback thing figured out. Josh Allen schooled us. We got Josh Rosen coming in. We need to make him hurt, and not illegally and not with roughing the passer calls. We need to
We
do
tried
it
that
legally
once.
and not fall on him and not push him down and not hit him in the head and not hit him in the knee. So I don't know how we're going to do it.
Kind of
but
roll
we gotta
off
do
him
it.
gently.
Yep.
Yeah,
We're going to follow all the rules. So,
yeah.
love it. I think that's going to do it. We love you guys. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
All right. Woo!